Letitia James vows to continue targeting Trump after years in the courtroom. Trump derangement syndrome. Trump has repeatedly said Letitia James suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. New York Attorney General Letitia James has a long history of slamming President-elect Donald Trump, vowing in her first campaign to take on Donald Trump if elected, only to double down on the rhetoric after his massive election victory over Vice President Kamala Harris last week. "She's got serious Trump derangement syndrome," Trump said at the start of the year as he faced a civil fraud trial brought by the New York Attorney General. He has repeatedly accused James of suffering from Trump derangement syndrome throughout a bevy of New York court cases brought against him by James and other Democrats in New York. A staunch supporter of the president-elect, who has been floated as a potential AG contender, has already put James on notice to end her lawfare against the 45th and upcoming 47th president in a fiery interview after Trump's win. "Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term," Mike Davis, founder of the article II Project, said on The Benny Show podcast last week. "Because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time. And we will put your fat A in prison for conspiracy against rights, and I promise you that." Fox News Digital poured through James' history as New York Attorney General candidate, compiling the highlights of her legal battles against Trump over the last nearly 7 years. James, a former city council member in New York and public defender, launched her run for New York AG during the 2018 cycle, while emphasizing that if she were elected, she would aggressively pursue charges against Trump. "I'm running for Attorney General because I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake. From the Muslim ban, to efforts to deport immigrants, to denying transgender students the ability to choose whatever bathroom they want, rolling back regulations to protect our planet, colluding with foreign powers, putting profits over people, dividing us in ways we haven't seen in generations," James declared in September of 2018. "And what is fueling this campaign, what is fueling my soul right now, is Trump and his abuses against immigrants, against women, against our environment. We need an attorney general who will stand up to Donald Trump," she said during a debate in August of that same year. James won her election that year, about 2 years into Trump's first administration, and took a victory lap while vowing to expose the con man. "New Yorkers, we can spot a con man. We can spot a carnival barker, a fearmonger, a mile away, and he should know that we here in New York, and I in particular, we are not scared of you," she said. "As the new Attorney General of his home state, I will be shining a light into every dark corner of his real estate dealings and every dealing, demanding truthfulness at every turn. I will hold him accountable using the unbending power of the law." Trump and his team immediately slammed James' apparent fixation on pursuing him, with Trump saying on X at the time that a candidate who openly campaigned on a GETTRUMP agenda was elected New York's top cop and that he would never be treated fairly by these people, a total double standard of justice. About 3 months into taking office, James announced an investigation into the Trump Organization, claiming there was evidence indicating that the president and his company had falsely valued assets to obtain loans, insurance coverage, and tax deductions. The investigation was launched after Trump's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, who had previously served federal prison time for violating campaign finance laws, testified before Congress that Trump Org had exaggerated the value of his assets. James officially sued Trump Organization, and its senior leadership for allegedly falsely inflating his net worth by billions of dollars to induce banks to lend money to the Trump Organization on more favorable terms than would otherwise have been available to the company to satisfy continuing loan covenants, to induce insurers to provide insurance coverage for higher limits and at lower premiums, and to gain tax benefits, among other things.